Hello everyone, Alan here with another daily trading recap. This is for Tuesday, December 7th. Uh, this was a rougher day than Monday for sure. A lot of overtrading, a lot of mistakes on my part, and I think it was just because I still was kind of upset about missing that breakout yesterday on ISIG, and actually we'll pull that up. And as you can see, it just was pretty much an all-day fader. I mean, you had a decent spike at the open, but you can't really guess a lot of these things. So, um, as you guys know, I missed this. I missed this ramp up here. Let me do this. And change these volume bars here. There we go. I missed this run up here. I ended up buying into this consolidation, selling right here, then buying in here and selling right here, and missing the big ramp um, over 50%. So that's kind of disappointing because it's not every day you get a. If I were to go onto the max, let's do max weekly. Um, this stock has a history of being higher priced. I'm sure that there's been tons of you probably have all offerings in here, all these price changes and all that. So I don't know if it actually ever traded up here, but the point being, if you were to look back even to 2000, let's say, let's go to here, 2014. Um, well, 2014 wouldn't really necessarily be a good year. Let's go to 2016. I mean, the only resistance once this broke the 950s, 970s area, um, then it was kind of off to the races to see how much it could go. I mean, you obviously have a history of all these top wicks, so that's something to be aware of. So that way you don't, or so that way you know to sell into strength and not really, you don't really want to hold stocks that show a lot of top wicks, especially overnight, at least in my opinion. But anyway, my point with this is it was a multi-year breakout, and I mean I was in it in the sevens, so I was in down in here and hoping that it could push this breakout, and I just didn't give it enough time. But anyway, good lesson. Moving on to today, like I said, not great trades today, but it is what it is. Let's change that back to the 1 year, 1 day. Uh, Up on the screen, I have the overall NASDAQ. As you could see, surprising move today. And actually, let me change my studies here. Whoops, because I have the wrong study, and I found that out yesterday. Um, what was it? It was Tim Lento uses this. He's in the Tim Challenge chat room and does weekly webinars. What was it? It was moving average exponential, I believe. Let me check my other screen here. Just one moment. Um, yeah, moving average exponential, and then changing this to 4. We'll change that to the color. I don't need to see the bubble. Take off the upper and lower bands. Okay, and then I can get rid of the simple moving average. And you'll see that this line changes slightly. It's not that big of a deal with the NASDAQ, but um, I want to make sure I have the most accurate information that the gurus are using there. So, and then let me save my layout before I forget. All right. So yeah, surprising action on the NASDAQ today. I mean, yesterday and the day prior, Friday, we saw it start to tank and test this, pretty much this resistance area here, but huge gap up. Um, gap up and pretty much all day ramp up until the afternoon, and then started to fade off. But post and pre-market, I mean, I don't know what we're going to do the rest of the day because I'm up early today, but we're pushing we're pushing uh, this resistance level. So I really don't know what's going to happen. I don't know why it gapped. That's the $1 million question, or it would be more than that. But so we'll just take it a day at a time, like I say every day, day at a time. We'll see what happens. I mean, if this is able to push, that's going to be insane. So especially with it being December, potential holiday trading, all that fun stuff. Let's do weekly. Yeah, we had 2 weeks of 2 red weeks, and now we're back into a green. So let's see how we finish this week. But enough of the overall market. Let's get into my trades. Let's see. I traded 7 times on Tuesday. 3 wins, 4 losses, 43% win rate with a $12 loss. And I did pay some commissions because I traded an OTC in the morning. Good lessons today, but unfortunately wasn't able to take profits or end the day green. And I think my mindset had a lot to do with that from yesterday, and then also being in the red. Just trying to make back your money is just not a good mental place to be. Um, but anyway, in the morning I had a great trade on IGEN. I think Tim Sykes mentioned this too. Morning spike out at the open. Yesterday it kind of faded, as you could see from this 1 year, 1 day. Let me see if, there we go. As you could see from the 1 year, 1 day, history of spiking, but we have massive volume lately, and we still had massive volume today, yesterday, and yesterday. But it looked like yesterday was kind of a consolidation day, and then gapped up, and I wanted to play it off of I wanted to see if it could spike some more. Once it spiked at the open, it had some dipping, some consolidation here above VWAP, so I decided to buy close to VWAP and see if it could push this kind of resistance area. As you can see, that was a resistance area from the previous days, and also if you look at the chart, that's a key area where stocks had issues. So um, just a quick buy and sell. Once it claimed that, I didn't think it would hold. I wasn't too confident in it. Early morning trade, just in it for a minute, and I made 8.5%. So not bad on that trade. Good trade. Taking the profits, but I should have also kept in mind that this was putting in higher lows. Um, if I saw that it bottomed, and then maybe on this kind of red candle right here, um, maybe I could have gotten in, and I mean that's kind of stretching it, but definitely into this higher low, maybe taking a small pop. Um, but anyway, hindsight trading is easy. I took the meat of the move on this little consolidation to spike, and I'm happy with that trade. My next trade was a NASDAQ SYTA. Um, kind of sloppy entries on this, and you'll see that I just get sloppier because I think I'm just wanting something to break out, just like I missed yesterday, like I keep saying. But I ended up buying in at 615, and then adding a little higher, which was just dumb, at 626, uh, and then selling into an immediate pop, and then selling again when it came closer to my buys because I didn't want to take a loss on it. I mean, small gain. I was expecting it to push a little bit more, but then I got nervous when it dipped, and it did hold and kind of put in like a higher low, but I just got nervous here and took it off into the next like small pop. Um, so not bad, but not a great trade. Um, and this one is a first green day gapper um, after fades with immense volume. So I wanted to see how far it could go, but that's all good. Small gain on that one, and then I started making some mistakes. Especially this one right here is my worst mistake of the day. Um, I keep saying that I need to avoid buying into spikes consolidation, and that's exactly what I did here. I mean, I thought it was going to break here, because it started pushing and looked pretty good, but you just need to be aware. I mean, the initial entry shouldn't be too bad. My real problem is with my ad here. I thought it was putting in a higher low. Excuse me. I thought it was putting in a higher low, but clearly I just added too quickly. And regardless, even if it was putting in a higher low, um, why would I add so close to my initial entry? Um, and then it dipped even more, and I added again, and decided to, as long as I held this trend, I would hold. It topped out here, a lower high, and I sold half of my position. And also, this position was large just because of the three entries. So just not a smart trade on my part. Um, and then once it cracked this low and touched the previous low, I just exited. I definitely would have been out into this weakness if I didn't sell the rest here. But me doing something like this um, ruined me being able to get in into this action. So, good lesson, but I need to just be cautious of buying into the strength before a fade. So I think I'm going to try to stick to either just morning open buys if I see anything that looks like it could run for a quick minute or two. And then after that, I'll probably just I'm going to try to stay away um, until I see some definitive like higher lows and um, ideally just trade in the afternoon. But what can you do? Just got to keep learning every day. Uh, and then this one, I think I was mentally just frustrated with my earlier trade in this area here that we just went over. And, I bought in, all my ads or my entries were pretty good. I bought in after a crack. I was risking this 580-ish level because it already established a low. And I said I'll add if it dips at all. It dipped hard here, but then it ramped. So I said, okay, well, if it dips again, I'll add. I added after it cracked because I thought we might see a quick rebound, but I should have been a little bit more patient with the ad. Because even if I waited until this moment here, I still would have had a better entry than where I entered here. Um, but then I thought it was putting in another lower high here. I got nervous and I just took my position off. Took a 70-cent loss when really if I was just a little bit more patient with it, because it held this area twice, I would have seen right here that it put in a higher low. So I definitely, if I did not sell here, I definitely would have held through all this. And that would have been a nice 10% gain. So good lesson to try to, how should I put it, section off or um, not allow previous trades to like affect your mindset going into a new trade, because I do think that it affected me here, which is unfortunate, but um, good lesson. Small loss, that's okay. Uh, let's see. Now we'll go into TESS. Um, this was also just a bad buy. This was a bad, just like I keep saying, I shouldn't buy into spike consolidation. This one I thought it was going to break out, and I bought into the strength, and it got me. Um, just a sloppy trade, the not this one, but this one sloppy trade on SYTA, and this one sloppy trade on TESS. I mean, 4%, I should have cut it into this consolidation when it couldn't reclaim. I thought it was putting in a higher low, but it also put in these lower highs. I should have cut it right here, but I refused. I got greedy. I tried to, you know, I said, oh, well, the trend's still intact, it could still push, and I just didn't take off. But also, this is a very, very, very choppy NASDAQ stock. And look at the 1 year, 1 day. Um, Definitely not as clean looking as uh, something like SYTA. Yeah, you have overhead resistance, but there isn't really much range with all these days. But if you look into here, I mean, this thing is just choppy, choppy. You could see an overall trend, but just not as clean as the previous stock, and especially intraday. Um, But good lesson. At least I cut it because it did dip harder, and I would have cut later on into this kind of lower low here. These lower lows rather. I definitely would have cut into here, but I didn't really. I think my risk was this low here, and since it didn't crack it, I wanted to be more patient. But excuse me, it is what it is. Um, I just need to avoid buying into strength like this. Um, I mean, I need to buy breakouts if it's a confirmed breakout, but also I really shouldn't buy on breakout strength. I should buy on breakout dips. So, good lesson of me learning what to avoid. Um, but let's move on to the next one. ACET, another trade where my mindset caused me to lose out on profits. At this point, I was down on the day. I was up 60, almost 60 bucks yesterday, Monday, and I wanted to be in the green. And I thought this one could run even more. I thought that if this one, yesterday was the first green day gap up, major volume, um, and today we're pretty much continuing that run. It looked like it was consolidating really well in the morning, mid-morning, late morning here, and I bought into a dip of the following this consolidation here, and good buy, very very good buy on my part, with a very close risk of 14. Did I say 1430? Yeah, my risk was 1430 initially, but then when it put in the higher low and it spiked, I moved it up to 1460. But we definitely had a spike, but look at I need to keep in mind how they spike. You know, we had some gradual uptrend here, consolidation, gradual uptrend here, consolidation, and then a spike, a vertical, almost supernova spike. Um, and it actually topped out right where it topped out yesterday. Or right in that area. So I was wanting it to push harder. And really, I mean, you could see that this is topped out, for 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes right underneath 1520. Um, I should have been out. And if not there, I should have been out into this here. But I got greedy. I said, no, give it time. Um, it just needs some time to consolidate. And it dropped even more, and I decided to take my profit. So a 1% gain here, but it could have been a 5 to 6% gain if I just took my profit when I saw it, or rather when it was there. So, uh, good lesson again to not let how you're doing on the day, try to not let how you're doing on the day affect the current trades or your upcoming trades, because that definitely, I was up, I think I was up, you know, 15, 20 bucks into the top here, and I thought I was down 20 something. So I said, oh, well, if it goes a little bit more, I'll definitely be green on the day. And that skewed my thinking. I really should have just taken a profit into a ceiling here, um, at least some of it. I tried to sell five shares into here, and it was right during this crack, and then I just took them off because it didn't fill. And then I ended up selling all 25. So I was very upset that I didn't fill at least some up in here. Um, but, good lesson, and at least it was a small profit. I didn't let it turn into a small loss. So, good lesson there again. And then we'll move on to my last trade, ENSC. This one was very frustrating to me. Um, let's see. But, I should have kept it on my radar. Um, you know, oh, I stopped trading after this because I ran out of buying power. That's why I only had 90 bucks in it. But, that's probably good. Um, I bought this on a dip. It spiked up. We have actually it's a first green day, massive volume, beaten down stock, um, and it, spiked in the morning, dipped, held this, what is this, maybe 250-ish level, 255 area, held that level, touched the breakout again, and then it pulled back. I bought on a small pullback because I thought it might hold there. Really, I should, and then I got excited because in the next minute it pushed through, and I thought, oh man, this is it. It's gonna run now, and it just got hit with a bunch of sells. I mean, sellers took it all the way down to the support. So I was really upset, um, and I decided to give it a couple minutes, and then it started cracking again, and I just took it off. I mean, small loss because of the dollar amount, but if I had a larger position, this would have been a really shitty, really bad trade. Um, I just need to keep in mind when I have a channel, Tim Gertani mentions in his DVD trading tickers, if you have a channel, you want to buy, you want to try to aim to buy in the lower half of that channel, and that way it'll make it easier for you to hold in difficult times like this. I mean, regardless, I would have cut here for a little bit more of a loss. So, it is what it is, but um, and I think I only had this much in it anyways because if it did break this risk, I would have lost 10 bucks because I was willing to risk $10 on it. But as you could see, I mean, later on, yeah, it dipped, but we had kind of like this stutter here on the uptrend, and that's kind of where it bottomed. And right here in this higher low, that's where you could have been entering. Right here on this test of VWAP and then higher low dip, you could have been entering here and then selling into this little spike. So good lesson, um, just to be more patient and let these things play out. Um, Unless they for sure break out, you don't need to be in, especially close to a breakout level. That's what opens the door to problems. And that's where I got stuffed on a lot of these. I mean, one trade bought close to breakout. Let's see, two trades right near the breakout. Yeah, two of my biggest losses today I bought right near the breakout levels, thinking they were going to push, and they didn't. This one was into strength, so that was even worse, but good lesson for me looking back through. But yeah, like I said, 7 trades, 3 wins, 4 losses. I ended up being down 12 bucks today. So overall in the week, I'm still up 46 bucks. So that's a great week. I mean, I'm not going to complain, but you know, I gotta make sure that I don't make those mistakes like I did today. But good lesson. I hope everybody has a great day, and remember to keep in mind the overall market when you're trading, and try not to let previous days' success or failures dictate your mindset or actions when you're looking at trades or when you're in the middle of a trade, whether you're up or down or what you've already made, what you've already lost. That's something I've got to work on. Other than that, I don't think that there's much else. Like I said, hope you guys have a good day, and let's kick some butt today. Thanks.